It's a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. I'm a rare coin and precious metals dealer here in LBTS, just a couple blocks down from this bridge, and this is the live Lauderdale by the Sea pier cam if this is the first time you've been watching it, and if you're not, I'm sure you love this live cam as well. Looks like we got some storms coming in here, raining a little bit right where I'm at the moment. But some sunshine peeking through, and isn't that kind of like life in general? So I always like to make those points when it comes to weather in the ocean. I don't know, maybe a little bit corny, but no less. Hey, let's move into some things I wanted to talk about here, but let's first take a look at spot prices. We had a bull coin this morning, and it looks like we have a bull market this morning as well, that lucky damn coin. But I kind of suspected it. I guess everyone else did on Friday as well. I don't think anyone was expecting things to get monkey hammered, especially yesterday. There were aftermarkets open. The world markets were open on Memorial Day. And by the way, I hope everyone had a nice, enjoyable, safe weekend and took a moment to reflect on what Memorial Day is really about. So anyway, let's talk about spot prices here, and we're up $4.23 since this morning, or the opening yesterday, or the close from yesterday. And again, New York markets were closed because of the holiday. What's the range? 1905 to 1917. So we pretty much, again, we were hanging at 1895, 1899 level, right near 1900. For all intents and purposes, I don't know what it is about the even numbers like 1900, but for some reason, precious metals markets, it's like it's always set at 1900 or 1925, and then it reaches 1924.99 and it gets whacked. It's almost like it's planned that way. I don't know. I'm just kind of maybe just people pick those numbers out when they're picking out positions, short or long positions. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. So we broke through that $28 mark pretty handily as well. $28.04 to $28.44. Current silver price at $28.44 per ounce. Again, this is early New York. New York is open right now and closes in 8 hours and 33 minutes. I get this report done a little bit earlier. I'm going to try to get these things uploaded earlier for you folks as well. Look at platinum to below 12. What the frick is going on with platinum? I mean, I love platinum. I think it's really cheap. However, I just don't understand where it's kind of completely disconnected from the price of gold and silver. I mean, when gold and silver would move up there for a while, platinum would make the move with it, but it almost like it's playing opposites. It's, for the last week or so, it's been doing the opposite of what gold is doing. Gold's down, platinum's up. Gold is up, platinum's down a little bit. Anyways, just an observation. And those observations are like mini trends. They only work for the time that you see them working. As soon as you try to make a play on it, it changes. So hey, we're looking good here. Spot prices are up, and I kind of expected that. It looks like we've got the Basel Biz 3 agreement coming up here, where that's supposedly end of paper derivatives and stuff. And there's some good articles we're going to talk about. And really, this is what it is. What's next? What's going on next? So, I mean, we've made this move over 1900. We've made the silver move over this $28 mark. I think we're in pretty much clear sailing territory. However, I do have some fears of some smackdowns. I mean, it's inevitable that we're going to see some. Someone asked me not to say monkey hammer, but I'm sorry, that's my key phrase, monkey hammering, smackdowns, whatever you want to call it. I'm open to a new good word, an alternative to monkey hammer or smackdown. So what's next, I think, is I think we're going to see the next level is going to be that over that $30 mark, and we're going to see gold pretty much breaking that $2,000 mark. How much higher, I don't know by the end of the year, but I can definitely see that coming up soon. I think it's going to ride pretty well into the fall months. At least that's been a trend. It seems like precious metals have done well in that May to October, November months, maybe even September, October, in that range right there. And then for some reason, precious metals, and this is a long-term trend I've noticed for many, many, many years. But I think we're going to do well up until fall, and then all bets are off, in my opinion. I'm not quite sure if we'll see a major monkey hammering. I mean, but if gold runs up to that 2,300, 22 to 2,500 range by October, of course you're going to expect to see a smackdown. I mean, we kind of saw it last year too, didn't we? About the same time, October, September, something like that. And we had good ups. So a lot of people forget when we get these smackdowns and gold and silver kind of just like stabilize for a little while. And I don't have a chart up here, but I sure want to find a chart here. Let's tap in macro trends, gold and silver chart. I like macro trends. They seem to be the best. And they have a 100-year chart here. Where is it? Again, I really like their charts, macro trends. There we go. Come on, load. Taking a while. Gold to silver, 100-year historical ratio chart. So where was I going with that? I kind of forgot. We were just talking about what's next. Well, I kind of think that we're going to move into that $2,500. Oh, that's the ratio chart. No, 100-year. Yeah, that's the ratio chart. Sorry about that. What I meant to gold, silver, gold chart. There we go. Sorry about that. And you can lay the silver chart over the gold chart as well. So I don't want anyone to think I'm not talking about silver. You can kind of lay the. So I kind of think that the little lulls that you see right here, again, I'm going to shorten this chart up to 30 years, 5 years, 5 years. Let's move this up to the 5-year chart. Here we go. This is when I kind of felt that we started our last bull market right here. We had some dips here. And then again, 2019. We saw, where is the gold? There we go. 2020, July. We saw that over that $2,000 mark, and I think it was even higher than that. And this dip right here. But look at that rise that we've seen in gold. A lot of people that are bitching about this part of the chart. You see this down part right here? A lot of people that are bitching about that. Where did I go? I'm sorry about that. About this down here. Oh man, it hasn't done anything for the last 6 months. The last year really hasn't done much. It went down. I guess they completely forgot about this right here, and you got to have these type of corrections. Again, I don't think this is any type of major correction. This is just kind of like a pause that we've seen in gold markets for years. If I was going to make the comparison of today or since 2016, you see the up market right here. 2012, we had our last big bull market. 2020, I think we did break the last high. So gold's already broken its high, all-time highs, what, 1980, 2011 or 12, and currently this last year in 2020, where it broke another high, where silver's only broken 2 of its highs. And the reason that's why a lot of people like silver too, because they still think it got a lot of room to double here, where the price of gold doubling anytime soon doesn't seem as likely. However, it's strange and interesting times. Who knows what's going to happen here? So what I want to point out is that I think we're back in that upswing again, and I think we're kind of like, see this down here, this downswing right here? That's kind of what this is, in my opinion. I think we're in the next up leg of this. Let me take a look at the 30-year chart. And boy, that's all years. Take a look at the all years. There, there's 1980. There's a 1980 market right there, for example. In my opinion, if I was to compare it, I'm not even going to compare it to the 1980 market. Let's go back to 2012. I think that's a much more comparable market for us right now. However, on this chart, and this being, just pretend that this, where I'm pointing right here, is our next major bubble bull market. You know, when gold gets into its all-time high territory, everybody's talking about it. Your friends are talking about buying gold. You know, your hairstylist just said she's buying gold. So that's this point right here. I'm pointing at the chart. That was also that point in 1980 because I was around to witness it. So right here, you'll see. Oh, this must be adjusted, inflation adjusted. Let's turn off the inflation adjusted here, by the way, folks, so you get a better perspective. Inflation adjusted is kind of a cool way to look at it because we still haven't surpassed, as I've always said, we've never surpassed our 1980 level for gold or silver. But I'm going to turn off the inflation adjusted. So I think that because the dollar is real important, that's why I'm going to turn it off. I don't think all things are equal. So let's move from here to this bull market right here in 2012. Again, turned off the inflation adjusted, so don't worry about that dollar sign right there. For some reason, they changed it as well. Here's that dip. Here is the last high we had. I think we are, again, we are getting ready to make one of these moves right here, one of these big moves. I think we're in the position to make one of these moves right here. And again, I'm going to shorten up that chart a little bit. But again, don't want to get too heavy into charts. Charts only tell you where you've been. It's like trying to figure out where you're going by using the rear view mirror. And that's my opinion. I think Greenspan said that about trying to run the Fed, trying to figure out where market rates should go. It's like looking in a rearview mirror. So what's next? Well, I think we're going to have a good bull market run for the next couple months for sure, at least into October, September, October area, where I think we may see a correction. Now, don't get me wrong. We could see some big monkey hammering corrections before then, which I think is very possible. And I believe it's going to be related on data that says that the, for example, data that says the economy is better. It may cause some dollar strength, and we're going to see dollar strength. There's no doubt about it. We're going to see some dollar strength coming up here, and that will whack the price of gold and silver somewhat. But dollar strength is only short term, and it's not a long term. Oh, just the facts, ma'am. Well, one of the things I wanted to show you here is that that's kind of what I hope I'm sharing with you folks is just the facts. I don't want to throw a bunch of hype out there and nonsense and tell you that I think gold's going to $5,000 by the end of May, like so many different videos that I see, $150, $500 silver, $10,000 gold. I mean, can that happen, and will it happen? Yeah, in our lifetime, possible, but no less. I'm not going to kind of spin that kind of bullshit on you folks. I'm going to kind of just give you what I know to be the facts and my experience from doing this after, I think it's been 40 years. I don't even want to count anymore. I've been doing this a long time. Let's take a look at ZH, Zero Hedge, and see what kind of articles out there. Not much in precious metals. I think there was only one thing I wanted to point out here. This is the paid edition where you don't really get all the ads. So if you're wondering why it doesn't look like the regular page, I pay $1 a day for ZH. And let me take a look here. Washington Post, futures. World stock hits records as U.S. futures jump. Oil spikes above $70. I kind of want to just make a quick mention of that, not really read the article. However, I think we're going to see much higher oil prices here coming up. And that's just kind of brings up the whole commodities boom here in general. I've been talking that I think we were going to have a commodities boom, and the most obvious reason is because of closures. You can say the same thing about the shortage of silver and a lot of precious metal products right now. No matter how you slice it and dice it, now, silver and gold were becoming scarcer. The demand was becoming more and more even prior to the closures of 2020. No less, 2020, the closures had huge impacts on availability of products. This it's not just gold and silver out there, but I suppose oil. But on the other hand of it, there was a glut of oil. What did they do? Just stop producing? Now they don't have an oil? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but we're going to see higher oil prices. They're talking about $5 gas in California right now, and California will probably lead the way as far as the rest of the country. So we're going to see higher prices, and that's inflation, folks. I was also reading used cars are up 40–50%. I'm out right now looking for a particular van, a used van. I was looking for one that was 3 or 4 years old with a little bit of mileage on it. Okay, a van that we can use for just storing stuff and putting stuff around. Not driving back and forth to the warehouse, that kind of thing, throwing things in. Nothing expensive. So I was really surprised to see that a van that is 3 and 4 years old is bringing within $3,000 of what a brand new man. So prices in general of a lot of stuff out there has just gone up dramatically. Again, how much of it has to do with 2020 closures and the shutdowns, the lack of manufacturing, the lack of product? I'm sure a good part of that does. And that brings us to a subject about silver. U.S. Mint was talking about silver. And I'll get to that in just a bit here. I think it's going to be on the gata.org page. What do they want to say? Absolute shocker. Core CPI to hit 4% in 2 weeks. That's a question mark. And here, let's kind of just do a quick click on that right there. while pundits debate whether the record usage on the Federal Reserve repo facility, which last week hit a record 485, something's broken down there, something's weird. I'm not going to talk about that. However, where it is, there's a clear risk in May inflation report published on June 10th will prove to be an absolute shocker, with used cars and trucks up by 50% over a year, and potential further increases in the yearly increase of the rent of shelter components. So rents are going to go up because the property values have gone up. The one thing that hasn't gone up is salaries and the amount of people, the amount of money that small businesses are making. Small businesses are still working on probably profit margins that they were years ago. If maybe they're going to have to raise their prices a little bit because of inflation. However, not for profit, they're going to raise their prices. And top off the fact that the number of sales that a lot of small businesses are doing are far less than they once were. So, we're still in a pretty shitty economy, and this is not going to help people at all as far as inflation goes. And according to the apartment list, after a period of decline, nationwide median rents just surged by the most on record as this key component of CPI and PCA basket suddenly explodes higher. More or less, they're saying here, prompts from Nordea says not to rule out a 4% core CPI inflation rate. Now, if the official CPI rate says 4%, in reality, man, that's got to be closer, in my opinion. Just take whatever the government tells you and double it or triple it, and that's triple it's probably closer to reality. Double it if you don't want to. Well, anyway, if you trust what they say. So inflation's going to be rearing its ugly head. A lot of products, again, I think, though, what you're going to see is that, cars are going to start rolling back in. Used cars will come down in price because, again, production is gearing up again. Countries are opening up. A lot of states are opening up. A lot of businesses are opening up more and more, especially in the United States, Texas, Florida, and a lot of the red states. Not so much in some of the blue states, but internationally, I think they're starting to gear up as well in manufacturing. However, oddly enough, I was just reading the other day that Toyota had a huge parts container ship sink off the coast of Japan that they use for building, I would imagine, Toyotas. So there's some, there's some stuff going on out there, folks. And let's just move into gata.org, some good articles out here. We're going to read this. Hugo Salinas Price, the BIS caves into Russia and China. Interesting thought. And obviously, he wasn't the first one to think of this thought or the reason why BIS might be going ahead with ending these paper derivatives with Basel III. But I'm going to read that in a second. China raises bank app. Okay, that's interesting. Falls in the price of gold. And anti-U.S. and anti-dollar factions are running the biz now. And again, that's what gata.org is trying to come up with. The reason is, why is BIS now suddenly? And I brought this question up. We've all known that Basel III has been written and in the books for a while now. When were they going to implement it? Are they going to implement it? It looks like they will. But the big question mark has been and still is, why? Why, after all these years, are they ending the paper derivatives? Now, there's a couple interesting thoughts in here. One of the thoughts that they mentioned in this anti-U is this right here. And again, worth reading the article if you are a gold and silver stacker and you don't have gata.org on your bookmarks list. You really don't know what's going on. I know it sounds like I'm getting paid from them, but I'm not. I just think it's real important for you to get good information and good data, and they have it. So anyway, take a read on this article. Maybe an anti-U.S. and anti-dollar faction is running the biz now. So they explain their interpretation is it's possible that, again, with China, and Russia and other countries that aren't so friendly to the United States now involved with the BIS, along with other countries, again, that are not too happy with the United States, perhaps it's kind of like a coup. Perhaps they are, with London and the U.S. and Europe and the U.S. are just saying, okay, we're going to end this. But I don't think so. And I think we're going to go back to this Hugo Salinas article here, what he thinks. What I was talking about, supply and demand. U.S. Mint postpones coin orders acceptance amidst silver shortage. Well, I got to tell you, this is kind of misleading in my opinion, because the U.S. Mint postponed the coin order acceptances, but it had to do with snafus in their ordering. It had nothing to do with the a shortage of silver. So they're kind of conflating, or they're combining the two things here, which are kind of completely different. And the coin orders were not for like silver eagles, what everybody's clamoring for and paying too much for right now, in my opinion. It was for collector coins, the new Morgan Dollar series. And really what happened is the U.S. Mint just screwed the pooch like they typically do on these orders. They had not had the ability, their computer equipment sucks, their ability to order online sucks. They screwed up a bunch of order, but they can't say it was because of silver, because it wasn't. And U.S. Mint does say they admit there's a silver shortage. You know, I'm not quite sure, but you know, I could kind of believe. But you would think that anybody could get silver, it would be the U.S. Mint. Now we've read this too from a past U.S. Mint director recently that just did an interview and said that the U.S. Mint is having a hard time sourcing silver. And again, I believe that to the extent that the U.S. Mint is having a hard time sourcing silver that they can mint. Don't forget, the U.S. Mint just doesn't buy silver from mines and has a big crucible inside the mint that they make their own silver. The U.S. Mint actually goes out and buys these blanks, or they buy this silver, and then they stamp it into these blanks and stuff like that. So it's not just a matter of them going out and buying silver directly from the mines. And don't forget, since the mines have been closed, there is a shortage of silver out there. There is a shortage of saleable product. Again, just because of the closures. But they have been exasperated by two things. First off, like I said, we have had issues with supplying large amounts of silver even before the 2020 closures, even before that all that shit happened. And then the second thing is that the product closures again just exasperated everything. So yeah, we're going to be in those kind of times right now. And let me move along because I'm making this show really long, and I do apologize. Maybe I just spent the whole weekend not talking to too many people and fishing by myself. So here I am just blabbering. And it was a fun week too. It was nice out there on Saturday. I ended up going out Saturday and didn't catch very much at all, but it was a beautiful day. Let's talk about the article by here, Hugo Salinas Price, a silver coin from Mexico. Now, he's got an interesting thought on this, and again, I read it from somewhere else. It's not an original thought by Hugo, but it's kind of really the first time I heard of it and thought about it, and I'm going to read this one. The website Russia Today made an announcement, and let's see here. Putin poised to set out a vision for the future in a dramatic speech in which allies say will be the world's most important political event. Now, this was back on April 6th. This was an announcement that Putin was going to come out and make this earth-shattering speech. However, it turned out that Putin did not set out any vision for the future in any dramatic speech, and that the world's most powerful political event did not take place. I read something about this. I didn't think much of it. I said, well, maybe it was just rumor he was going to say something, but it didn't really give me thought on why. And Hugo's going to talk about this in 1 second. What has been going on? In my opinion, now remember who this gentleman is. He should be connected. I think he's one of the world's billionaires out there. Owns tons of silver mines in Mexico. I mean, he's it. I mean, he's one of the big billionaires, and he knows what he's talking about. He's probably got the skinny an inside line on a lot of stuff that the average guy wouldn't. So, you know, I'd listen to him. In his opinion, what's going on? In his opinion, there's only one explanation for this odd situation. Putin was threatening to restore gold backing for the Russian ruble and for the Chinese yuan, and this scared the living daylights out of the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements of Basel, Switzerland, which caved in pressure from Russia and its ally, China. All right, now read that for a second here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Sorry about that. So you got to ask yourself, okay, well, what scared the hell out of him? As a result of Putin's threat, this May, the BIS advised that it was implementing new rules to govern international banks regarding the presentation of amounts of gold which they hold, which are no longer to include unallocated gold, which is what everybody in the gold and silver markets have been complaining about with LNBA, you know, London doing it, COMEX doing it, not having, you know, if someone buys a gold or silver contract, COMEX never had the bullion to back it. So they're ending that. They're more or less business ending that. It has been the operations with unallocated gold, mythical gold, and I like the way he writes mythical gold. I mean, listen, this is a billionaire saying this, which have allowed the most important banks of Britain and the U.S. to control and suppress a market price for gold. Of course, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. This is something that GATA.org brought up 20-something years ago. The things that Ted Butler's talked about. These are the things that a lot of us were told that we should put our tinfoil hats on until the facts and the proof came out. And what did I say earlier here? Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And sometimes people don't like facts, folks. They get a little mad, kind of like with my video last week that said trade your silver eagles. Some folks never bothered to read it because right off the bat they rejected that whole title. Again, I digress, but people don't like facts sometimes. So the operation with unallocated gold, mythical gold, which have allowed the most important banks of Britain to U.S. to control and suppress market price for gold for years, under the new rules, which are to be presented in full on June 28th, and that's this month. This is coming up here soon. Of this year, the price of gold will no longer be subject to manipulation on the part of the U.S. and the U.K. Again, one of the big things we've talked about is why? And here we go. Because the most important banks of these countries will no longer be able to count or on unallocated, non-existent gold for their collusion regarding the price control of the metal. Russia and its ally, China, have thus canceled the power of the U.S. and U.K. to keep the price of gold in a deep freeze for so many years. Nobody knows how high the price of gold will be after June 28th, but the higher it goes, the lower goes the international value of the dollars and of other national currencies that are linked to the dollar through the concentration of the reserves in dollars. So basically, what Hugo is saying here is Putin and China more or less said, we're going to make a major announcement here in the beginning of April that unless you take your clause, your manipulative clause, and he's talking in the UK and the United States, off the metal, metal prices and get rid of these fake paper derivatives. Because don't forget, China and Russia have been stockpiling huge amounts of gold for decades and decades. China supposedly has way more than people know. They've lied about how much they bought, but that's not uncommon. That's not a surprise. And really, why should they have to tell the whole world how much gold they have? But bankers want to know. Russia basically took all their own personal gold supply that they were mining for decades, kept it to themselves, and just recently opened up exports. So they're allowing their miners to export gold, which says that Russia's loaded up with gold. They were ready to make the announcements. They were moving to a gold standard. This is big news if this is true, if what Hugo says here is true. Huge news. So more or less, Russia and China said, listen, we've got gold back and we got lots of gold. We're sick of your manipulative bullshit. And you're going to either end it or we're going to make a major announcement that's going to force you to end it. And if we force you to end it, there's going to be some big bankruptcies. So I think what's happening is it's going to go through. Or we're going to see the end of these manipulative markets because of this. Good article. Highly recommend you read it. It's by Hugo Salinas Price. And again, big billionaire, very smart dude, and I think he's involved with minting these things out. So let's move into the video from last Friday here. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Dealer Secrets, Coins and Bars. What I did, I don't know if I phrased that properly, Dealer Secrets, Coins and Bars, but I kept using the word wholesale prices, what dealers pay. Yet one of the things that I can be really helpful to a lot of you folks out there, especially folks that don't live in my area and have to go to a local coin store, a local bullion store to buy stuff, I can help you by telling you what your dealers are actually paying for this stuff, how much that your dealers should pay, and what's a reasonable profit margin that you should expect to pay him. And again, I'm not trying to set anyone's profit margins, but I think if you know what your dealer pays for items, you won't go in and make ridiculous offers either, or you won't walk out of there thinking the guy's a complete ripoff. If he's having to pay $8 over a spot plus $7 for Silver Eagles, and you're thinking your friend told you could buy him for spot plus $5, and your friend's really smart because he buys silver all the time, and you walk in there and the guy says it's spot plus 10. You're thinking, gosh damn, this guy's trying to make $5. So anyway, that information I gave you Friday, I can't tell you how valuable what I've been giving you as far as wholesale pricing goes. You just don't hear this stuff out there. So I hope you're using it well. Anyway, don't mean to go into a long-winded thing about dealer secrets and coins and bars, but basically it was more about what the real wholesale prices were on it. Answer a few questions here. I know you're all protecting some of your wealth in physical silver. Great choice. We'd love new additions to our family over on Wall Street, Silver, and Reddit. Hey Bradley, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We could use some more viewers from Wall Street Silver Reddit on here as well. So appreciate anybody you bring with you there. But we've been throwing, I've been throwing people over there to take a watch. I guess a lot of people have been throwing me over there to take a watch because I'm kind of new to the whole thing. But we've talked about Wall Street Silver on Reddit quite a few times here on this videos. And again, appreciate you watching very much. John Mosley correctly points out that my fish saying, which I like to say all the time, it's kind of just an analogy I like to use. I'm not a religious person, but obviously, John Mosley, I'm not a religious person because you're right, it wasn't in the Bible. So, but I have a saying, and I'm not even going to attach any religious significance to it or make note that I thought it was religious saying. You know, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man a fish, he eats for life. Well, that's what I feel about these videos. I'm trying to teach you folks. I'm not trying to give you something every day so you're kind of hooked on listening to me all the time. I'm trying to teach you how to look up your own data, how to find out your own stuff, and how to find out your own truths and make your own money. John, if you want to talk yourself into doomsday, then read Zero Hedge. What a load of crap. I get that, John. Some people feel like that, and it does seem like a lot of negativity on. It does seem like a lot of negativity on ZH. However, you know, it's not like, and I think down here this points out perfectly, if you want sunshine and unicorns blowing up your ass, read the corporate bullshit. Read Wall Street Journal. Watch Bloomberg's. Watch, you know, because that's really what they are. Just corporate sunshine and unicorns. They blow up your ass. I got to agree 100% with this. And that's just kind of my opinion that ZH is, what I like about ZH is it provides alternate opinions. It's not like one guy in his garage. You know, they have all kinds of different authors and websites, and they also have Wall Street Journal, and they also have the Bloomberg articles on there too. So it's more like a hub, and they do have a lot of good stuff. If you actually read it with an open mind, you'll find that there's a lot of valuable information. And one thing, if you want to make money in life, I had a friend of mine at a young age that was very, very wealthy. He told me, he says, read the Wall Street Journal, read a lot of stuff, and when possible, read between the lines as well. And I'll let you figure out what that means. Donald Robinson says, and I'm kind of not quite sure. I think he's thinking about buy Silver Eagles. He likes Silver Eagles, and maybe he kind of confused what I said about Silver Eagles. A lot of people did. They never watched the video. They just said, trade my Eagles, never. What I said was trade your Silver Eagles for more silver bars. So, you know, go take 100 Silver Eagles, trade them in for 107 ounces of silver bars. I mean, that's a brilliant idea, adding to your stack more silver. If silver triples in price, you just made a lot more money because you know the premium is not going to triple. And the premium is going to completely disappear on Silver Eagles at some point, especially now. When the mint starts gearing up with the new product and everything like that, you can kiss those premiums goodbye, and you're going to wish you hadn't paid for it. That's my opinion. Mr. Robinson paid $8,800 for an IRA Monster Box, which he bought it a long time ago. Think about that. Divide 500 into 88. What's that come out to? So he bought them really cheap, and he sold them for $24,000. Profit $15,500. He paid $1,700, 500 rounds, and sold for profit $8,650. Taxes were $2,700. Profit was $40. So he's kind of happy. And I guess if you had to have an IRA, and if you got to have something in a taxable account like an IRA, yeah, why not? It seems like he did pretty well. But the problem with the IRAs, they don't allow you to have anything but Silver Eagles in them. It's kind of a weird kind of deal. Anyway, not going to get into that. Hey, good on you, Don. Appreciate you watching as well. Brian, nice to see you commenting and watching. And last gold Buffalo for $88 over spot because the post office. Well, hey, they gave you a deal there. But it looks like the proof gold Buffaloes or gold Buffalo prices have come down quite a bit on the premium sheet. I'm actually looking at that sheet right now. What's the dealer spread on that? It's about 75 to 130, whereas gold Eagles are still at 105 to 155 range. So gold Buffaloes have come down in price a little bit. Looks like the demand is not as much, or the supply is higher right now. Hey, thanks for watching, Brian. Larry Smith says, heads up on your commemorative silver dollars and got me a deal. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I can provide a lot of you folks with. Now, I can read these stories and these articles that you're going to read yourself or you haven't read. I can read them to you, give you my interpretations of them. But there's a 10 million YouTube guys that can do that as well. I can show you graphs, and there's 10 million YouTube guys that can do that as well, and maybe even better, and better than I. I'm not saying maybe, a lot of them even better than I. But what I can do is help you. I'm a physical trader. I'm in the retail business and the wholesale business of buying and selling gold and silver bars and coins. I can help you pick the best deals and let you know when maybe you should sell or maybe when you should buy or do a trade. But commemorative silver dollars is a great deal out there, Larry, and you got a really good deal. 50 cents over spot is a killer deal, considering that U.S. Morgan dollars completely worn down. Which they made millions of them. They're not rare. Are bringing $10 to $12 per ounce over the price of silver. That's insane. These are U.S. silver dollars as well. If you watch my show, Larry, you made a really good move, sir. Appreciate you watching. Michael says, Rodriguez, I'd like to know if you can speak about rare coin market on the side of the bullion market. Some of us invest in bullion just like we do rare coins. Perhaps you could speak about what series or dates are affordable and not affordable right now. As far as you should come in, Michael. I'll kind of give you some ideas of what I think might be a good way to combine the two. But I got to tell you, you're probably asking the wrong guy if on combining the two, because what happens, I think, is that the premiums that you paid for collectability or grade when it comes to rare coins, you got two factors in rare coin prices. You've got collectability and you've got grade. All right. When the bullion prices start to surpass those two things, now all of a sudden you're just at a melt value. So I'm kind of in the camp that if you're buying collectibles, and this is my feeling, and it may go against the grain and what some people feel, but when you're buying bullion, buy bullion. Who cares what it looks like? Cheapest premium possible. I don't care if it's pretty or not. As long as it's recognizable and it's resaleable, we're just buying gold or silver. When it comes to collectibles, I don't like buying stuff that's a little bit over melt. I don't like buying stuff that, I think really, rather than buying 10 items, buy yourself one really killer nice item. Put away, because in all the years I've done rare coins and precious metals, the rare stuff is still rare to this day, and the common stuff is still common. So, common date silver dollars in high grade, they're common. Common date coins, just because they're popular, are still common. Buy the rare stuff. That's my opinion, Michael. I'm not sure if that helps you there. Where's my fishing pole? I hope you got some fishing done, CDM. Thanks for watching. Excellent video. Thank you, sir, for mentioning that. Potter Stacker says you mentioned cheap silver. The cheapest stuff I'm finding is Canadian junk silver. I'm paying 18 times face for it, which puts it right at $30 an ounce. You know what? I'm not sure where you're living at, but it sounds a little high even. $30. Well, hold on, not really. It was silver at 28. It's $2 premium. Okay, that's not a bad deal if you're finding Canadian junk silver at that. It's still cheaper than U.S. 90%. However, when you go to sell it, you are going to get discounted heavily on the 800 fine. And right now it looks like the 900 fine constitutional silvers come down enough in price where I think it might be worthwhile paying the extra dollar per ounce, $1.50 Potter Stacker. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Battleborn mentions what I was talking about on Friday's show. It's very informative and interesting to see how little you guys make depending on the product. Thanks for these videos, and that's what I wanted to see. Friday's video is one of my favorite videos because I'm giving out information. I think it's just super valuable. You just don't hear, you're hearing a dealer talk about what they really have to pay for stuff, not the BS they tell you or the BS you think or hear or heard. Anyway, very informative. Okay, Michael Fernandez, double-sided bull coin, huh? I got it in my hand, actually. No, it's not, but it's been pretty damn lucky for me. And I think, aren't you guys said don't change it? So, hey, thanks for watching again. Can you talk about what happened to gold and silver if we were to see a deflationary event? Love the show. Listen, I think when you say deflationary event, you mean an event where we've already had a deflationary event, and that was probably from 2012 to 2016, 17. There's your market in a deflationary event, in my opinion, right there. Or you're talking about deflation of currency, the devaluation of the dollar becoming worth less. That's a whole different story. So tough to say, but thanks for watching, John. But I think if you're talking about deflationary in general, what the economists called a deflationary economy, we've already seen that, and I think we saw that between 2012 and 2016 in the gold market. Michael Matthews, cup of coffee, and yeah, thanks for reminding me. I'll actually have a sip while I'm oh, thanks. My mouth gets a little dry doing this, sorry. All right. William Rock, great information. Local coin stores, They always ferret Tulsa Gold and Silver. Good to hear in Oklahoma. Good on you, Tulsa Gold and Silver. As I said, I'm all about buying local. I only sell local to local dealers. I mean, local customers here, brick and mortar, face to face. I don't do any online business. And my recommendation too is, if you're doing business, I don't care if it's tires or precious metals or coins or whatever it is. Try to keep that money local. Buy local. It's very important. So thanks for watching, William Ruth, and thanks for shopping local. Chris Dutcher says, I like one ducats. Dutcher, ducats. That's close. I like ducats too, and again, that's something I talk about on Friday. Great deals. Besides the commemorative silver dollars, which the other gentleman mentioned earlier, I was talking about the cheapest way to buy fractional gold. If you watch Friday's video, you're a big winner on that. Hey, thanks, Chris, for watching. All the gold-proof eagles are the same price as non-gold-proof eagles. Hey, NR right now is a great time to trade those proof gold eagles and those with boxes and papers and without boxes and papers in. Trade them in. There's a huge, super crazy premium right now on gold-proof eagles. Take advantage of it while you can, because I don't think you're going to have that ability to do that. Right now, you can make at least a couple $100 an ounce. That's great, and still buy back the gold and still make a few $100 an ounce on proof products right now. Almost like Silver Eagles, but even more exaggerated as far as gold goes. D-Man says you should give us a tour of your shop. Be nice. I think I'm going to start doing some live videos at some point, so I will let you know, sir. Thanks for watching. Gnarly Silver says, I did the underwater cam. I said, name 3 of the fishes swimming by, and he did. Harvey, Bobo, and Shirley. Yeah, you won. Come on in. I'll do something for you, man. Thanks for watching, Gnarly Silver. And you did nail it. I didn't say you named their scientific names. I just said name the fish, and you did. Brent says, why can't a group of silver stackers meet in secret on Jerk and make their own reserve bank system? Well, I wish it was that easy, sir, but it's really all about the money. Thanks for watching, Brent, and if you do make that secret group of stackers, invite me, please. I'd like to go. I like islands, and I'll catch fish for you guys. Call It Breeze says, Wells Fargo won't accept coins. They are not pre-rolled. Anyway, you have a right to deny business, but having a bank account would make that building... that's kind of a whole different subject, but yeah, by law, Wells Fargo has to accept change, but they are a private banks, so they can set the rules on how they get that change. Michael Ogle says, damn, you've been doing this for 44, gosh, Michael, 44, you did the math. I wish you hadn't done the math. I didn't want to know that. 44, I was saying like 40 plus. Man, it's been 44 years. All right. Guess I got to keep my mouth shut. I gave away my age, kind of. Thanks for watching, Michael. Really appreciate it. And Stackboy says do fishing videos. Man, if anyone thinks I'm kind of somewhat drone on about these, you should see me fishing. I just drone on, and you don't want to be on a boat with me for 2 hours while I'm fishing. I'll drone on and on forever. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. Best product, best deals out there. I'm not going to point to any particular products. I'm going to let you figure out the math yourself. If you walk into your local coin and bullion store and they have any recognizable silver products that are not recognizable by you, but industry recognizable silver products that you can pay less than a $6 per ounce premium for, that's the best deal out there right now. The closer you get to zero premium, the better. Again, recognizable products. So chances are you're going to be in that $4 to $6 range premium if your deal is stocked on some of that better, less expensive products. That does not include Silver Eagles. Sorry about that. Same thing with gold. Don't pay more than $100 an ounce for any recognizable, again, industry recognizable products, not recognizable by you or your buddy or somebody online, a friend of yours online, but recognizable by guys who are going to end up buying this stuff. Make sure that you don't spend more than $100 an ounce. Closer to 70 to 80 is more like it. And that's going to pretty much regulate you to bars right now because a lot of the coins are still overpriced premium. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays at 954-493-8811. We are a local brick and mortar store, so if you live in our area, we can do business with you. If you don't, I am really sorry. I'm glad you're listening to the show, and keep listening to the show. That's my whole point, is to teach anybody that wants to hear it. And I hope you find yourself a good local coin store or good local bullion store. And again, if you have to drive into the county and spend a half-hour drive, do it. I even say just keep the frickin' money in your state. If you got to drive an hour to keep the money in your state and find local coin dealers, do that. That's my recommendation. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, for my local customers here, I do beat the online sellers JM Bullion, SD Bullion, and APMEX Bullion. Those are great companies, but I can beat their prices. I'm local, and I spend my money locally. Hey, thanks again for watching. Hope you folks have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll see what happens with these markets. Good day.